So, I got a little project today. Just got off work, been sick for about a week and a half, just getting over it. But my neighbor came over and he needs a fence post slide hammer. It's got most of the parts that I need to do it. Just got to clean it up, put it together. Some parts are galvanized, some parts are steel, so I'm gonna have to do some cleaning to get the galvanized off. If you don't know about galvanized, don't weld through that shit. It will kill you. It's the zinc poisoning. When the zinc turns into a gas, you don't want to inhale it. You got to ventilate it. Wear a respirator. I clean it off so it doesn't burn. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you what I'm going to be doing. So first off, I'd like to apologize for the camera quality. This is an Akaso GoPro Action Cam kind of camera. Very low quality. So anyways, let's get back to the video. I'm going to start off by shaping the end cap closer to the radius of the pipe. So no extra material is hanging off, and it makes the part look a little bit more professional. Then the pipes, I was told that it was already squared off, but it wasn't. It was pretty bad out of square, so I did the best I could to bring it to square. I didn't have a pipe wrap on hand. I don't really do pipe cuts often, so the measuring tape worked just fine. Now, I didn't need to exactly square the pipe off. I could just weld all the parts as is, but squaring it off is going to make it easier for fit up and layout. This part's going to be around for quite some time. It may be seen by many people, and I don't want them looking at my work saying, that is completely out of square. Why did that welder weld it like that? That is completely unprofessional. My name's going on it, so I got to do this work to the best of my ability. You can see from the rim pieces that I cut off that it goes from narrow to wide, back to narrow again. That's just how much out of square it really was. The work I do today could possibly affect the work I do in the future, because someone can see that work that I did and say, hey, do you got that welder's number? I got a project for him. Now I have to clean off the galvanized zinc coating. The galvanized coating makes it difficult to weld, and the fumes produced while welding can kill you, so be sure to clean it off before you strike an arc. Even grinding the galvanization is total pain in the butt because you can't really tell if you got all the galvanized off. You pretty much have to wait until you see orange sparks to tell if you have fresh metal or not. Now, this is where my squaring job is going to pay off, because I can use all of my tools and I can trust them to give me a straight line because the part is already squared. Before I tack the parts on, I put the parts up and mark out where they're going to be. So when I'm cleaning the galvanized off, I know what specific area to clean off. So you can aim rather than miss it completely. Here you can see me grinding. You can see how sometimes I'll grind and it won't spark, and other places it will spark. That's how you're telling that you're into the good metal part that you want to weld. Zinc coating will actually be a slightly different color than the base metal, so you can also look for that. Spraying your sanding disc will also help with cleaning off the zinc coating. The zinc coating won't want to stick to the grinder disc. Now that I have the parts truly cleaned and prepped, I can fit, tack, and weld it up. To weld this, I'm using my Millermatic 211 auto set with ER70S-6 solid core wire. It's the welding wire that looks copper. And for shielding gas, I'm using a 75-25 argon mix. Now you could probably tell that I run my welder off of a generator. Welding from a generator allows me to have clean, solid power, and I'm also not running up the power bill. Now, by clean, solid power, I mean nothing else is drawing from the power source, like a microwave, refrigerator, anything else that could draw power. The generator is only running my weld, so there are no low and high peaks of voltage. Now that the cap is welded onto the pipe, I can start welding on the handle, which is a pipe supported by a gusset. Now the handle needed a little bit more shaping for a tighter fitment, so I don't have to weld huge gaps when I'm installing the weld.
By shaping, I mean I'm matching the radius of the large pipe to the cut of the small pipe. This is commonly referred to as the cope. Now, general rule of thumb, weld size is determined by the thinnest of the material thickness. So the thinnest of the thickness material of the two pieces of metal being joined together is your weld size. But if you're welding both sides, that weld size can be split in half. So if it's a ½ inch weld, you can split it down to 1/4 inch by welding both sides. These welds I'm doing are called fillets. To measure a fillet weld, you have to measure from the edge of the weld to the fitment of the two base materials being welded together. The fitment of the two pieces being welded together is also commonly referred to as the root, and the edge of the weld is called the toe. So you need to measure from the root to the toe to get your weld size. This is also commonly referred to as leg length. But this piece is not being inspected, and it's not that important to get the correct weld size, just as long as the welds hold. Now that all the welding is finished, it is time to clean up. Clean off all of the smoke, spatter, any kind of slag that you get on this piece. You want to clean up any spatter, sharp edges, because someone's hands are going to be all over this and you don't want them to get cut. Typically, after this step is when you paint it. So you get paint straight up on fresh metal and it has no time to rust. Now, this concludes the part of my job. I don't get to go out and test it or show it off or anything like that. I'm just a welder. If this was mine, I would spend hours upon hours making it perfect to exactly how I want it. But after all those hours I spend on it, I probably even wouldn't want to use it because it would just be so perfect. I wouldn't want to damage it. So that concludes this video. If you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to tap the like button into position and make sure the subscribe button is on to be sure you have the proper amperage and wire speed to get notified about new videos posting. Have a good day and thank you for watching.